All right, so earlier today we went through the Realist overview class, and now today or this afternoon we're going to go through Realist Tax Advanced. So this is the Realist Tax Advanced class. So here's what we're going to do. Realist does provide you with some of their own default searches. So we're going to take a peek at all of those, and we're going to look at and apply some advanced searching. I want to show you some of those features. I will be going through all the property reports. There's quite a few, so we'll be walking through not only the property detail report, but comps, neighbors, so on and so forth. I will show you the map tools and how they're leveraged. I did show you one in this morning's class, and that was how to draw on the map. There's many more that show you various steps of information, which is awesome. It's such a neat tool, so I'm going to show that to you. As we actually go throughout the training, we're going to be talking about printing, emailing, and saving, and you'll see that's just reiterated a lot of different places within the system, so I'll show you and point those out. And then last but not least, something I feel that's really important no matter what system we're in and teaching is preferences, because, well, you set up a system the way you'd like it to work, and you can set those preferences off the bat, and it really will help you save some time within Realist. So let's go ahead, and you can see I am already logged into the MLS dashboard, and I'm going to go ahead and just launch Realist. So here we go. You'll see it's right under MLS Essentials, and I'm going to click Realist Tax. So the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to go through some advanced searching. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to click on My Search right here. And from the My Search, we have this drop down. And what I want to show you today are some searches that I didn't show this morning. So we have one search called address or street, and you'll see there's a little padlock on it, meaning you can't delete it. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this. And what if I wanted to search by a street name? Maybe I wanted to search the length of a street. It could be for door knocking. It could be for, marketing purposes, a myriad of things, right? So I'm going to go ahead and type in Whitney. Okay, and you're going to see my count on the fly feature. Let me point this out to you. I have 1,123 matches, and that's a little too much for what I want to do today. So I'm going to go ahead and narrow that down. And so let's go ahead and scroll down here, and I'm going to narrow that down by zip code 95677. Okay, so this is an example I use frequently. And now you can see I have 262 matches. Well, I'm going to go ahead and hit search, and let's pull those up. Now you're going to see, here we go, and there is Whitney. Pretty cool, right? So I can see it's kind of like a little bit of a curved shape here. And those are all the properties on that street. And you can see the subdivision. If I scroll over here, let's see here, Whitney Boulevard. And what is this one here? This is Whitney Vista Lane. So you can see there's also Whitney Vista. But anything that has Whitney in that particular zip code is pulling up. Of course, remember the bubbles indicate the status that that property held within the MLS. If there is just a black balloon or bubble indicator over the top of the property, that's just a marker showing that there is a property on the map. And you'll see when I put my cursor over it, it says no MLS activity. So really great as far as the advanced searches goes. That's an address or a street search, and you can apply that either or. So the next one down the list is owner or seller. Now, when I flipped to it, it said, "Oh, hey, Melissa, you didn't save your changes." So my search contains changes that have not been saved and can be lost. And if I want to save that as a template with values within it, I can absolutely do that and use it later on. I can give it a name if I like, or I can just hit don't save, and it's going to go to the next search. So again, what that next search was is owner or seller. So I can come in here and I can search by owner or seller name. Okay, so if I want to pull up, and maybe I can't remember the current owner's name, but I know the seller's name was Smithson. So let me go ahead and type that. I'm going to click search, and you can see I have 14 matches, and they span all the way from almost here to Nevada, from the coast here, so you can kind of see, and maybe it's this one in particular you're looking for, and look, I can go in and I can view information, or I can go in and view the report. but it's again, another avenue for looking up or finding properties or, owners. So really, again, a nice little advanced search that they give you to leverage. Now, the third one down the list is just a general search. And again, I'm not going to save this. You're going to see here, I can absolutely come in here and use this general search. Now, maybe I'm noticing, oh, well, look, I have this search up still. I can clear all. So I'm going to go ahead and clear that off. And I know earlier in the earlier class, I showed how to use universal land use, and we looked up wineries in Napa. You can use a county use code, but I can't do it when I have more than one county selected. And you'll see here, search attribute is not available when multiple counties are selected. So if that's something that you want to search by, you'll need to modify how many counties you can search across at one time. But you can search for style. So again, this is more of just like a general search form that allows you to search by various many amenities or attributes, if you will, as you are, searching on the map here or in a particular area. So you can see here, address, city. It's kind of a catch-all search. All right. One of the last of the advanced searches, okay, and you can see you have my search default in general. Honestly, they're very much almost the same. So, but one of the last of the advanced searches I want to share with you here is foreclosure and distress sales. And let me show you how to search for that. I get a lot of questions on foreclosures and distress sales. Hey, if you want to go ahead and send me a chat message of what city you live in, you don't need to give me an address. I can search for foreclosures in that city. I know some of you like to kind of see what's going on in your city. So go ahead and while I'm talking about this, throw those out to me, and I'd rather, make this more relevant to you guys. I'll apply it to you if you'd like. So here I can go ahead and I can, if I want to look at distress sales, I can, or maybe I want to look at foreclosure stage today. So let's see if properties in pre-foreclosure. So I'm going to go ahead and look at that there. And now I'm going to scroll down, and how about, thank you so much. So looks like Sacramento. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and click okay, if I can spell, that helps. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add that as a value, and you can see it narrowed it down to 104 matches. Someone else had wrote, Lincoln, so thank you. I'm going to go ahead, and if there's anyone else, please feel free to send me the city they live in, and I'm going to go ahead and put that in here, and you can see that doesn't change at all. So nothing, no pre-foreclosures in Lincoln currently, but 109 in Sacramento. So of course, if I want to make that a little more relevant to now, I could put in a foreclosure recording date if I'd like to, just to make sure those are recent. So you do have some options here if you're searching by foreclosure. And of course, I could also search by auction or bank owned. You'll see here as I add that criteria, it will add all of that criteria to the search here. Now I have 418 matches. Now, if I scroll down, and you know what, maybe I take off Sacramento and just leave Lincoln. Let's see, now there's 17 matches. So the majority of those property attributes that I added, pre-foreclosure, auction, bank owned, are in Sacramento. So as you can see here. So I'm going to go ahead and let's go and add Sacramento back. I just wanted to show you guys. Oops. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and add that. And again, I'm searching both those regions. Now, let's go ahead and look. I can do foreclosure auction date. Okay, I can actually set a time frame if I'd like to. Let's say let's say the next 120 days, and let's see if it narrows it down. Yeah, that narrowed it down a whole lot. So that's 23 matches. So you can see as you add and remove criteria, it will obviously narrow down your search here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and if I want to even manually change this, look at, I can do that as well. And you can see now I have 34 matches. If I go from May to, you can see here, November, 46, and we'll leave it at that. So I'm going to hit search here, and it's going to apply that detail. So now I have the option to go through, and yeah, of course, I could print this information if I'd like. So if I wanted to go ahead and print, you'll see here you have some options. I can print a map and a table, a map only if I'd like, a table only, or even the cards view. So you have some options to do that, and you have absolutely the same options with email from this page. So just wanted to show that to you so you could see. Okay. Now here is where I'm going to go in and view the property report. So let's take a peek right here. So I'm going to go down there, and I am going to click on that, and we're going to go through and take some time and look at our property detail reports. So you're going to see here I have all of these properties here along the left. So if I want to click on any of these properties, I absolutely can, and I can look at the information. It's going to show me the information for each of these properties as I scroll through them. Now, how can I tell which of those, if it's a pre-foreclosure, if it's an auction or bank owned? I can see that right here at the very top. And there's a reason I search for those particular amenities, because it actually has a whole another tab on here that you won't normally see if the property doesn't meet one of those criteria. So I wanted to show you this foreclosure tab today, just so you're aware of what it looks like. So you're going to see here, this property, 3921 69th Street. I can see 2 beds, 1 bath, MLS sales price. I can see the owner information. Look at this location information, tax info. Here is your assessment and tax. Okay, I can see the characteristics of the property. And I can even see the sales score indicator. So this is the propensity to sell. You can see this is the value as of, looks like July the 13th. Okay, so the higher the sales score, so you can see here the sales score indicates the relative likelihood a property will be listed for sale in the next 6 months. So the higher, the more likely it will be listed for sale in the next 6 months. And you can see here, properties with very high sales scores represent the top 5% of properties and are more likely to sell, and are 2.6 times more likely to sell than the average property. You can see properties with moderate to high sales score, 502 to 830, are more likely to sell than the average property, and properties with very low to low sales score are less likely to sell than the average property. A new tool, I think it's been probably not quite a year it's been around, but a pretty cool tool that they've added. And so to get this information, they get it from HUD, they get it from the IRS, they have their own automated valuation model, their own special calculation, and they take all that information, and that's how they come up with this sales score indicator, if you're wondering where that information comes from. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to scroll down here. You'll see any of the previous listing information I can see here in 2007. And here is your last market sale and sale history. I can even see the mortgage history. So I can see, 2007 resale, and then I can see refi. So you can see here, frequently I get asked, can I, do you know how much they owe? And I would need more documentation than what I have here to determine that. So now here I can see the foreclosure history. So I can see, notice of trustee sale, and you can see here, I can see notice of default, and I can see all of that information if I'd like, okay? Now here's a property map. This is kind of the zoomed out version of, or the zoomed in version of the map, and the zoomed out with the cross streets and whatnot right here so that you can take a peek at. Now at the bottom, you're gonna notice you do also have a print and an email link. And now there's a couple things you could do. You could do a quick print, and that prints exactly what you have displayed here on the screen. Or you could do a customized print, and the same thing goes for email. And what the customized print is, it will pick and choose off of these reports at the top of the page. You get to pick and choose which ones you want incorporated into a PDF file. So you can go ahead and choose those. And so if you do want the property details and, maybe I want a neighbor's report and I want a comps, I can absolutely do that right here. Okay, once I'm done, I can click proceed and to hit print. And again, you have the same options with email, and this will show or display print and email for every single one of these reports. Now, you also have the option up here to customize your view. You're going to see that here in the upper right-hand corner. So if there are any of these characteristics or attributes that you want to remove from that page, you absolutely can. If there's things that you don't want to see or things that you don't feel are important for you as you look through the property detail, you can absolutely apply that. All right, so that's your property detail report. The next report is your comparables. So I can pull up comparable properties. It does have a default search in here. I would absolutely love for you guys to take a peek at that search criteria to determine if it's, well, set up per your liking. So you're going to see here, you have your properties. I can see the summary statistics, high, low, and median. I can see that there were 8 comparables found, and these could be properties on the MLS or off the MLS, which is really cool thing about searching tax records. Now here, if I want to modify the search criteria used to yield the comps, I can click search criteria here, and you're going to see, okay, well, how many comps do I want to pull up? You can do a maximum of 50, which is a whole lot, right? So I'll leave it at 10. And how do I want these to sort? And I'll modify this just a little bit. Let's say sales recording date most recent. And do I want to include property images? Yeah, sure, why not? Include value projected by assessment. Okay. Include value projected by square feet. Yeah. And this is their real AVM. This is their automated valuation program. It's their proprietary program that will, help with value. So I can go ahead and, leave that on if I want, or I can turn that off. Now, data source. Do I want to see tax or MLS or both? I want to see both. Pool, I always put no preference. And I have this set to about a half mile from the subject property. Now you can absolutely put a range in of sale price. I could put in more criteria, built, beds, baths, stories, tax or distressed, sales, and geographic boundaries. You can see it says no preference, site influence. What date type do I want to go off of, the recording date or settle date? I'm going to go ahead and leave it on recording, and I'm only going 3 months back. But I could go, 4 if I'd like, or 6, 2, it's up to you. Now, this is only showing properties right now with a 15% living building area percentage difference. So I can absolutely narrow that down if I want, or I can increase it if I want. 15% is the default, or you can do that by square footage. So you can see here the lot area. I don't have a percentage difference here. It's just set to, it's not pulling off of that field currently. And the land use, I just have it the same as the subject. Now you're going to see here, I don't ever put style in for the property. One thing, style subjective. 2, it doesn't always get added to the property detail. So I'm going to go ahead and click submit. What's the difference between save and submit? Well, right now, what you currently saw in here are my system preferences for comps in Realist. If I want to save the information I just typed in as my new preferences, I would click save and submit. Every time I pull up a property and I run comps, it's going to run based off this criteria I have in this search form. Otherwise, I can go ahead and hit submit, and maybe this one time and one time only, I want to go ahead and, run this because maybe this is a special property, special amenities or qualities. I can go ahead and just click submit, and it will not override my existing search criteria, so which is cool. So I have, 10 comps. And again, remember I sorted by now recording date. And here you have your print or email at the bottom, but look, I have this lovely little button here. It says generate report, and I can go ahead and I can generate the report now. So let me show you what that looks like. We can take a peek at that, and here we are. Pretty cool because it's going to show you where the comps are in relation to the subject property. I can see here the number of comparables, which is 10. I can see distance from subject. Okay, I can see no preference here if I'd like. I can see for pool, I can see distance, you can see site influence, search period, living building area, or land use. I also have some summary statistics here. So the subject property, high, low, and median. And I can even see the average. Now here's my subject property and the comps. So I can look at all of this information side by side, and it's really great. I get asked, is there any room to where, can I make adjustments on here? No, what you see is what you get on here, but you can kind of go through each of these properties, compare them, contrast, and, talk about offer price or list price of a particular property, okay? So you can see that right here. Now, if I ever need to go back and I need to edit, I can click edit report and it takes me right back to that initial page here. And I can modify search criteria or check or uncheck comps. So that is your comparables in Realist. Pretty neat little report. Next, they have some market trends. Now, the only thing you can do in market trends is print. I always get agents asking, how do I change this? And you don't. It's going based off of this zip code for that particular property, 95820. And I can see, closed sales. So I can see just some trend data here. Okay. You can see median days to contract sales, median sales price per square foot. Okay, and I can see that as of June 2021, and I can see that the 5-year trends is $271. So you can see that for each of these particular charts. Now, as I scroll down, you're going to see here median sales price tax. So this is from the tax roll, and you can see from that zip code from Sacramento or the entire county. And I can see change from March 2020. It looks like minus 3.4%. You can see here. I can see a change from January 2020 right here. You can see it is increased 24.6%. So pretty interesting here for those individual markers. Now I could look through each one of these, and I'll let you kind of peek at these in your own time. Median sales price, MLS, and you can see those have, risen. Median sale to original list price ratio, you can see MLS. Okay, I can see here median price per square foot tax. Now, if you want a trends program that you can go in and get your hands dirty with, you want to play with it a little more, you can come right back to, Prospector Plus. We have a great program in here, another third-party vendor called Trend Vision, and you can really put in the data that you are wanting to pull for a particular area and see trends and use that, whether it's for buyer's tour, for a listing appointment. It's pretty awesome. So this is our little market trends tool in here. The great thing is when you guys decide to print this out, you can pick and choose what works best for you and your client. I just come in here and show you what you have the option to utilize. So the next thing is a neighbors report. So you can come in here and you can absolutely view your little neighbors report. Okay. So I can go ahead and you can see here, I have all the properties here. The search criteria, I can change that. So you're going to see here, I have number of neighbors, distance from subject, so on and so forth. And again, I can go ahead and change that if I'd like. Maybe I want to pull up properties on, well, let's say here the same street. So I can go ahead and submit that. And you're going to see here, it pulls up all the properties on the same street. So it's kind of neat. Again, maybe you're holding an open house, just listed, just closed, and you want to kind of get to know the neighbors. Maybe you're going to do a little door knocking. It looks very similar to the CMA, but it's just the neighbors. So you can see here the subject property in relation to the neighbors' properties. So pretty cool that you can pull that up. And again, you have the options to print and email. Now, this is the neighborhood profile. The information is pulling from the census. So you can see here for that zip code, population, the growth since 2010. You can see population density, people per mile. You can see median age, number of households, so on and so forth. And I can see lots of other things, demographics for age, gender, marital status. You guys, I can see down below, housing, stability, look at occupancy, fair market rents. So not only does it have the demographics here that you can take a peek at, but as you scroll down, you're going to see here the education index. I can see school and business information. Now this is based on the search criteria. Again, just like we've seen in some other of these reports today, that you go ahead and populate. So if I click search criteria here, and I want to do this this search, I can do, okay, well, I'm going to do a mile from this property. How many number of, categories do I want to pull up at a time? I mean, how many, let's say schools or businesses per category do I want to pull up? There we go. Let's say 5. And you can see here business categories. I can see here, I can see schools, public, private, or both. And I can again add those. Doesn't mean their child will go to school there, but it's giving them all the information. And when you submit that, you're going to see that it will pull up here and it's going to show you local businesses, eating and drinking, you can see here. Okay, I can see healthcare services, I can see shopping. So pretty cool. And then again, the schools, public, you can see there's no private, doesn't look like. Grades, students per teacher. And I can see they have a school digger rating right here, community ratings, okay, that you can pull up as well. Okay, print and email. Now here's that foreclosure report. It looks a lot like your property detail report. However, it has this foreclosure summary at the top. I get a lot of questions about the trustee information. So you're going to see here, I have the trustee name, address, city, and state. Here's the zip code, phone number, the sale order number. So I have all the information right here. As I scroll down, you're going to see mortgage information. I can also see foreclosure history, location, last market sale. So you can see it actually includes some of that property detail report in conjunction with this. So I see the owner information down here at the bottom, characteristics. So it's just a nice little foreclosure report if you need. And again, you have the option to print or email. Now, one of the last few things you have access to is you do have access to the assessor map. And now this will launch Paint for me, so Microsoft Paint. So I'm going to go ahead and download the map, and let me show you. It opens as a TIFF file. And I'll need to zoom out a little bit, but this is the recorded assessor map. So I can actually see here the measurements. So you can see here, and lost my cursor, where'd it go? I'm going to use my own highlighter so you can see the recorded measurements for each and every parcel, which is cool. These ones are actually very clear. Some of them are not as clear. So, but really, really great. So, and I can see which lot it is. I would need to look back at the APN to get, lot, block, all that good stuff to figure out exactly which parcel it is. But it's nice that you have those free assessor parcel maps if you'd like. So, and again, you're going to see here, let me go ahead and, so it is assessor map right here. Now, I can actually pull up this flood map. So Realist has had a couple of different facelifts, and one of the first ones that occurred at the beginning of last year, they included this flood map for free where it used to cost. And I want to show you a few different ways to access the flood map information, and this is just one way. So you can see here the report date, the flood panel, all that good stuff. And I can actually see even here the key. This is outside of the special flood hazard area, but it's great. I could print this off if I like, or email it. So those are all of your various reports when you come into the detail, and that's all you have access to up here. As you can see, so if I scroll over property details, I have my comparables report, the lovely market trends. If you kind of want to see what the trends are, you can see here your neighbors report. I can see the nearest and dearest neighbors. I have the neighborhood profile, again, pulling the information from the census, business and school information. I have that lovely foreclosure report. And remember, the reason we pulled this up today is because I was searching for auction or bank-owned or foreclosure property. I was doing that purposefully so I could show you this exact tab. And then we have our assessor map for free and even a great little flood map. All right, so what I'm going to do is I am going to go ahead and I am going to go back. I want to show you where this is, and we're going to go back to our initial search screen. So right up here, I'm going to do that. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back. And so now what I want to do is I want to show you some of these awesome map tools. I love them. They're really phenomenal tools. And I feel like the best way to show you them is, well, by expanding the map. So we did do some drawing earlier, but if you happen to miss it, you can draw and run a search in any particular area. And actually, let me zoom in a little bit. I'm using the wheel on my mouse to zoom in. But again, you can zoom in or out right here. Why am I zooming in so closely? Well, because there can be thousands of properties in one tiny neighborhood. And if I draw and pull too many properties, we won't see results. So I'm going to go here and so here is one of the map tools, and I'll try the rectangle. So if I left click and I drag over and down, here we go. So you're gonna see there's 174 properties. Now, if I wanna go ahead and I wanna grab this point here or the shape, so you're gonna see here, whoops, excuse me, I clicked on the shape and I can give it a name and I can name it, this is, XYZ neighborhood. Okay, I can absolutely do that. I can search, I can delete, okay? So here, you're going to see if I want to expand or contract, I can use my cursor to do so. So if I need to modify that, I absolutely can. And I can completely reposition the shape, which is awesome, okay? If I want to take that little card off, I can. I love that option to do just that, to move it, to reset the shape if I'd like. I absolutely can do that. You're going to see here, if I want to draw a second shape, I can, and you can see this one is a circle. And again, I can give it a name if I'd like. If it's a neighborhood, place I'm doing marketing in or whatnot, I can do that. So I'm going to go ahead and delete these two. And the next thing I'm going to do is, well, I'm going to hide the search ping because I don't need it at this moment. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go right to the map because I want to show you some of the next tools. And again, I like doing it in this kind of big option here in the big screen. So here I have some boundaries. The first boundary is parcels, and you can see by default that's already selected. I'm going to zoom in here. And whether this property is listed or not, I can click on it. I can get the owner information, beds of bass, sale price. If there's a date, I could see that here. And I can even click on this little ruler and get approximate parcel dimensions, which is really awesome. So here, if I click on this one, this is the backlink. So I can directly link back to the MLS if I'd like. Or again, if I want to measure the parcel, I can. Let's go ahead and click on that. And let me show you what it looks like if I click in, making me log in again. Let's see here. Oh, doesn't look like it's letting me link back to that one. I'll have to take a peek later on. I'm not quite sure why. Let's try this one. We'll try one more time. If it doesn't, nah. Okay. We're going to skip that part for today. Okay, generally, we'll let you link back to the MLS. Now, let's go ahead and look at some of these other functions. So I'm going to go ahead here, and you're going to see boundaries. There are neighborhood boundaries in cities like Sacramento. You can see Boulevard Park, Marshall School, Midtown. Pretty neat. I can see those boundaries. You can also, and I'm going to zoom out a little bit. I could also see boundaries by zip code. So if there are zip code boundaries, you'll be able to see those that are blue lines. I can see the boundaries and the separate cities. Okay. So, and again, sometimes it could take a moment or so to pull up, and sometimes I'm just not zoomed out far enough. So there we go. And I wasn't. Arden Arcade, West Sacramento. That green and black makes my eyes hurt just a little bit. So I can see things like county boundaries, school districts. I can see the boundaries for the high schools if I'd like. Okay, so you can see here, there's some of those boundaries. This one's unassigned, this one's McClatchy High, so I can see that here. And I'll probably see more information if I zoom in a little bit more. Let's see here. There's Hiram Johnson, so you can see that there. Okay, you can also see flood zones. So I was showing you earlier, you have that flood zone map when you're in the property detail report, but you also have it on this map here, and the key is right below here. So you can see what the color coding means. I can see here, yellow is 500-year floodplain, including levee protected area. The orange is out of the special flood hazard area. I can see that. And if I hold down the control key and left click, you're going to actually see the flood zone code, the panel, and the panel date. Now here, I'm going to use the little spotlight. If you follow the little red dot, use the control plus click to see the flood data, and that's how I pulled this up right here, which is awesome. Okay, so you can do that really in any area. You will see if I zoom out, you can kind of see all the flood zones and areas, which is pretty interesting, which is why I like to show you the full map. So the dark purple would be 100-year floodway, the lavender 100-year floodplain, undetermined, unknown, and again, you can see the key right down here at the bottom. Okay, and if I zoom out too far, I won't see it anymore. It does not populate. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn that off. Now we have some other information I want to show you on the map. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to zoom back in, and thanks for bearing with me as I zoom in and zoom out. Okay, I have these little push pins. So all those properties we were talking about earlier, if I want to see all the, the push pins for the bank-owned properties, look, I can see that there's a couple showing right here, those two little green push pins. So you can see those indicators right there. If I want to go in here and I'm going to deselect this and I want to look at, active listings, if there are any active listings here, again, you're going to see, and they're kind of small, so I'm going to again highlight, there's active here, 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 and here. I can see that, and backlink to the MLS. If I want to scroll down and I want to look at, I can do lots of things. I can scroll down and I can look at bedrooms and bathrooms. This is going to make the map really messy. It can. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. Let me go ahead and zoom in here. Okay, so I can see this is 324275. It's really interesting to look at all these numbers. So this is all pulling off the tax record. It's pretty amazing that they can pull this over the top of the properties. Before, if they do have that information, you'll see it. If I want to overlay the owner's name on top of these parcels, I can do so. And again, if you're not seeing very many, sometimes it's not a perfect science, but when I zoom in, you'll see a few more appear. Okay, so pretty neat. I love the property and sales information. Awesome little tool. Now, one of my favorite tools in here to show is this trend. I love this. So who wants to see where the hottest sales are, where the market is upticking the most right now? I can show you. So watch this. If I look at the sales activity and I'm going to zoom out, and you're going to see this key at the bottom. And so the darker the color, red, the more sales there are. So I can see here, if I hold down the control key and left click, So this is a sales activity. It's a rolling 3 months as of January 2021. Okay, and this is single family residence. Now, the neat thing with the trends data is if I keep zooming out, I can see these trends actually across the United States. Now, you can't use Realist to search everywhere, but you can see the trend data. So if you're, I can see Las Vegas has some hot areas. Look at around in Arizona, around Phoenix. Pretty cool, huh? So if you want to take a peek, maybe have family, friends, maybe you moved from some of these locations, you can kind of see what the market's yielding currently, which is really fascinating. Okay, I love showing that. So I wanted to pull that up just to give you a little sneak peek. Now, something else here, you have, I can also see median sales price with the key indicated below. I can see the number of homes in foreclosure, and you won't see very many. So you're going to see here, less than 25 is that light blue color, 25 to 50. Okay, and if I zoom out again, I can see this across the United States. At one point in time, when I would show this map, the map would be very red, orange, and yellow, meaning there was a lot of foreclosures. So that has absolutely changed dramatically. Okay, so pretty interesting perspective, right? Okay, I can see that there. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and zoom back in, but yeah, have fun playing with the trends data. It's really neat. I'm going to click none. Now you can aggregate or group the trends by zip code. I more or less do that. Not every area is broken into neighborhoods. I could do single family residence, condo, or I could set that to both. And the opacity scale has to do with how dark the colors look on the map. So let me pull this back up. And so you're going to see here, if I want to make it really dark, it's very hard to see the streets, or sorry, streets. It is hard to see streets, but it's hard to see city names below those. So that's why I kind of keep it in the middle, just to give you a little perspective there. All right, so you have some other map tools. You have a driving direction tool. You have you can locate a city on the map. You can do a little measuring, like a ruler, and an annotation tool. They're more just little fun tools you can play with. And so I'll let you kind of check those out in your own time. Oh, and I skipped over this one. Points of interest. You can pull up things like banking or police, healthcare, library, shopping, transportation, right on the map if you'd like. All right. Little tip from me to you. One thing I would absolutely tell you is it will hold the system as you've left it. So if you left this map open as such, you would come in here the next time and maybe you were in a hurry and you need to do a quick address search and you're like, oh, how do I get back to the address? So from me to you, leave it as you found it. So I would open that map back up, okay? And I would go back to my split screen. That way, I would absolutely ensure that if I typed in a search, I would be able to pull up criteria. Now, what I want to leave you with, besides that little tip, is I want to leave you with the settings. Let's just take a quick peek at the settings. Some of this is even going to look familiar. So I'm going to go here, and it's a little cog here in the upper. You're going to see right-hand side of the page. I'm going to click on that. And here we go. Hey, so for me, I don't personally, when I type in an address, I don't want it to automatically go to that property detail report page with all those reports, because as a trainer, it's taking me a little too far, okay? So it's taking me to a step that I don't want to show you yet. Some of you as agents like that it takes you there, so I will leave that to you. Display mailing label addresses registered on the do not mail list. Well, yeah, of course you guys like to see those, so I leave it as such. You can see include unmatched sales transactions in search results. Some of the new builds don't have, the APNs, longitude, and latitude tied together, and as of yet, so that is an unmatched sales transaction. So a lot of you do like to include those. So you're going to see here, I do have a maximum number of properties to view in the results grid. So I set mine to 3,000. The thing is, if you set yours to 250, you can only view that many at one time. So I like to set mine to the max. Am I ever going to do 3,000 labels or no? But I don't like to be hindered. I like to be able to see, well, what my results are. Now here, you're going to see, so this is your search preferences. Now let's take a peek at reports, and this is what's going to look familiar to you. So if I go to reports, one thing I will share with you, all your reports are pulled up in a dynamic format. And what that means is it hides empty fields, fields that were not populated by the recorder's office or whatnot. So it makes your reports look so much more streamlined. I would leave it as such. That is a system default that's already set for you. Now here are the preferences for comparables. So if you ever want to come in here, you want to set up your preferences for comparables, you can do that. And that way, every time you run your comps, this is exactly how it will pull. You're going to see if I keep scrolling down, I have the neighbors report, and here I'll show you. You can also expand and contract these. So here, if I want to shrink up comps, I have that great little neighbors report that lets me look at the neighbors that are nearest and dearest to that property. Here is that demographic report, neighborhood profile report. Okay, the assessor map, you guys, is they have a viewer, but it is only available for Internet Explorer. I use Chrome these days, so I don't even use that assessor map viewer. But if you do happen to use Internet Explorer, you can leave that on and test that out at some point if you'd like. You can also include your email signature. So if you do email property reports or whatnot from within the system, you already have your signature set in here. It's ready to rock and roll. And I love having the parcels turned on when I have the map pulled up. I like the parcel lines to automatically show and have those boundaries pulled up. And again, that's a default, should already be set for you, but I leave that turned to on. Now, if you ever come in here and make a bunch of changes and you go, you know what, I want to go back to the factory settings, here is your restore defaults. You can always do that. But if you love what you've changed in here and you want to set that up and you want to, go ahead and apply it, you're going to see here, I can go ahead and save those changes and it will apply anything I change today in preferences. Okay, so those are your preferences for Realist. Now again, back upper left-hand corner. All right, so that was your Realist Tax Advanced. And so what we did today was we went into advanced searching. I showed you how to search by all of those advanced searches that Realist provides to you, including that street search. We looked up by seller name, pre-foreclosures, which was awesome. They do have that lovely general search form that you can utilize as well. We looked through all the property reports, so it's more than just the property detail report, right? We have the comps, we have trends, we have, your neighbors, your neighborhood profile. You have, if it's a foreclosure property, you'll see that foreclosure tab. You have the assessor map and the flood map. So you have all those reports to leverage, and you get to pick and choose which ones you print off. Those map tools are lovely, and we took a peek at all of those map tools. Try them out, especially those trends, you guys. It's great that you can use those nationwide. I love, love, love it, just to see the trends of what's going on. You saw in various different areas today, I showed you that we can print, email, and, well, save reports. So we took a peek at how the various ways to do that. And last but not least, we set up those preferences. So love to set up preferences no matter what system I'm teaching. They're really how you tell a system you would like it to work with you. All right, you guys. So, hey, again, thank you so much for your time today. I truly appreciate it. So here is the Metrolist Education Department, who I work for. Here is our department phone number and our extension. You can also reach us at training@metrolist.net, and we are more than happy to help you out.